Let me tell you about the incredible past, present, and future of Times Square while I jetpack my way down there. Hello, and welcome back to another video. Viewers, for maximum enjoyment of this video, please be sure to turn the settings all the way up to 4K before we begin. Alright, welcome to this grand tour of New York City with me today. It's so lovely to have you along with me for the ride. I'm your host, EUC Guy, and I travel up and down New York and other cities around the world on my electric unicycle, the most versatile, calming, fun, soothing, exciting contraption ever built by mankind. I will throw in little tidbits about this wheel thingy I ride throughout my videos, so be sure to tune in and listen up closely and keep your eyes glued to the screen, because if you blink, you will miss immense amounts of pixel information driving into your retina and steaming into your brain. Let's talk about Times Square. I'm about 5 to 10 minutes away from Times Square here in Uptown Manhattan, and I am beelining it on this wheel on my batteries straight down there. We'll be cutting through there and then making our way to the Chelsea area. But as I approach Times Square and cut through Times Square, let me tell you what this world-famous, most commonly visited tourist attraction on the planet is all about. The evolution of Times Square from grit to glitz. Times Square, which is often dubbed the crossroads of the world, stands as a symbol of New York City's dynamic, highlight star attracting millions of visitors every year. Its vibrant lights and bustling crowds and iconic billboards have made it an emblem of American urban culture. However, the history of Times Square is far more complicated than that. Its contemporary image is an absolute dichotomy compared to what it used to be. Let me give you a spoken essay about what the multifaceted evolution of Times Square is all about. Let's trace its origins and talk about its development and some of its present-day staggering statistics. Okay, starting with the origins and the early years of Times Square. Times Square's roots can be traced back to the mid-19th century or so, which means around the 1800s, when it was known as Longacre Square. It was a bustling commercial hub located in the intersection of Broadway and 7th Avenue. Back then, it was just horse carriages and train tracks and people walking around in funny clothing. The area was named after London's Longacre district, reflecting its burgeoning retail and entertainment scene. However, its transformation into the iconic Times Square began much later, in 1904, when the New York Times erected its headquarters straight in the middle of the intersection, sparking a rebranding effort that would reshape the entire area's identity. New York Times was a newspaper print factory which, compared to today, would be a gigantic multimedia mogul empire. But back then, print was the popular thing. It was the leading cutting edge thing. Well, the inauguration of the Times Tower, accompanied by a dazzling display of electric lights, marked the birth of Times Square. This electrification was symbolic of the technological advancements of the time and foreshadowed a luminous spectacle of a visitation site that would become the center of people's ambitions and spark their imaginations from round the globe right here to its door. Well, the presence of the New York Times building thus solidified the square's status as a media and entertainment epicenter, attracting from there on theaters, hotels, and restaurants from entrepreneurs and aspiring business people coming from every corner of the planet. The golden age of Broadway would then be sparked. The early decades of the 20th century, meaning the early 1900s, saw Times Square flourish as the place to go if you wanted to watch American theater. Broadway theaters proliferated and scattered about, showcasing a diverse array of productions ranging from the vaudeville shows to Broadway musicals featuring the most talented people money could attract. The roaring 20s then came passing through, where then people witnessed the apex of Times Square's cultural significance, with luminaries such as George Gershwin and Cole Porter and Al Johnson coming through these places and giving the place its reputable name that it holds till today. The district then became synonymous with glitz, glamour, money, and power. The pursuit of the American dream was born right there under those lights. However, Times Square's allure was not always just confined to the realms of entertainment. It also served as a magnet for advertisers eager to capitalize on the captive audience that was passing through. All those eyeballs seeing your ad was an absolute recipe for making mega riches. The emergence of these big, beautiful, electrified billboards transformed the square into a dazzling outdoor attraction filled with advertisement galleries and captivating passerbys with kaleidoscopic colors and messages. These illuminated advertisements became their own attraction. They became emblematic of Times Square's visual cacophony and contributed to its status as a globally iconic visiting center. Then came the decline and revitalization. What? Yes, the decline. Because of all the glitz and glamour, all walks of life became attracted and rolling into this lovely place, and darkness took over. Despite the cultural prominence, Times Square experienced a gradual decline in the mid-20th century. That's the 1950s. Socio-economic changes and suburbanization challenging the arts of it all, and the rise of television led to a decline in the theatrical appeal and the attendance that was proliferating in Times Square. Instead, shady, shoddy adult entertainment venues overran the place. By the 1970s and 1980s, the Times Square that we all knew and loved had acquired a scary, seedy reputation, characterized by crime, poverty, and urban decay. It became synonymous with vice, earning the moniker the Deuce. The Deuce, which translated to the two, was short for the 42, and the association with illicit activities became part of the vocabulary. Okay, here I am reaching the after central part segment, which will segue me into Times Square. As I wait on this light, I want you to consider this. Times Square and the New York City financial crisis all collided at once, prompting city officials and urban planners to contemplate the future of this entire city. In 1990, the government, led by Mayor David Dinkins, launched the Times Square Revitalization Project, a comprehensive redevelopment initiative that aimed at rejuvenating the area, not only socially, but politically and financially. The project involved zoning reforms, infrastructure improvements, and efforts to attract investments and tourism. Which brings us to the Disneyfication of Times Square, which I like to think of as massive amounts of colors, cartooning, storytelling, family friendliness, and an absolute festival for the eyes to take in all the animation and colors. The revitalization of Times Square culminated in the 1990s and early 2000s with the emergence of what critics called the Disneyfication of the district. Corporate interests led by entities such as the Walt Disney Company and the related companies which built buildings and spearheaded efforts to sanitize and commercialize this beautiful Times Square. Look at it, people. Just look at it. Transforming it into a family-friendly entertainment destination. Money was the objective. Safety was the objective. Theaters were renovated and iconic landmarks such as the New Amsterdam Theater were restored to their former glory. It's like daytime here in the middle of the night. The sky is lit up with billions of bulbs and high-tech screens filled with the most up-to-date and money-generating ideas human beings could muster up. Times Square is currently the #1 tourist destination attraction in the world. And just look at the beauty of this place. I mean, it truly is a marvel. Just know it wasn't transformed into the state without controversy. Critics were arguing that the corporatization of Times Square eroded its authenticity and displaced the historic character in favor of this sanitized consumerist attractiveness. The proliferation of chain stores and themed restaurants and corporate branding prompted concerns about the homogenization of urban space and the marginalization of local businesses and communities. Sound familiar? Well, Times Square was at the heart of that battle once upon a time, until, as you can see now, it's been completely overrun. But is it a good thing or a bad thing? No one can say for sure, but you can say that it drops your jaw to witness this magnificent environment. Which brings me to present-day staggering statistics. Despite all those criticisms and all the hardships Times Square overcame to become what it is today, it remains one of the most visited tourist destinations on the planet, attracting over 50 million visitors a year. These beautiful pedestrian plazas that were built in 2009 as part of Mayor Michael Bloomberg's efforts to improve traffic flow and make it better for people walking around the area to sit and relax and buy things, have transformed Times Square into a pedestrian-friendly oasis amidst what would otherwise be an urban jungle known as Manhattan. The economic impact of Times Square cannot be undersold, ladies and gentlemen. The staggering generating of billions of dollars in revenue annually through tourism, retail sales, and advertisement, according to a report by the Times Square Alliance. The district contributes over $110 billion to New York City's economy each year, which supports hundreds of thousands of jobs across various industries. The billboard situation alone has commanded some of the highest advertising rates in the world, generating millions of dollars in revenue for property owners and advertising agencies throughout. Moreover, Times Square serves as a cultural melting pot as it attracts visitors from all over the planet who want to come marvel at its luminous spectacle of a sight and soak in this incredible frenetic energy. It has become a symbol of New York City's resilience and vitality, embodying the spirit of innovation and diversity. You know what? If you have ambition, come to this city and it will set your ambitions alight and make you feel inspired. My conclusion is this, people. You need to come here if you haven't, and if you have, think about this. Times Square's evolution from a humble commercial district to a global icon of an establishment is a testament to the enduring allure of urban spaces and the transformative power of collective imagination. Its history is a reflection of the complex interplay between commerce and culture and community. Just wow, people. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see all of you on the next one. Have a great day. Goodbye. Folks, if you enjoyed this video, please don't hesitate to join the channel, give super thanks, or even just hit the like and subscribe button. Goodbye.